Hi, thank you so much for tuning in to P2P Relates, where we talk about all things relationships. I'm Pat Renfro, and tonight I want to talk to you about clarity and determination. It is 2022, as you are fully aware of, and we really can't get very far if we don't have clarity. That's the first thing. So I'm going to define clarity by saying it's a clear picture of what it is you want and what it is you want to do or to accomplish. And in everyday terms, you may say that you have goals. And goals can be a really drag to talk about at the beginning of the year. For those who are type A's, no, that's what they do, right? But for us regular people, the goals can make me run the other way sometimes. So I want to give you a different perspective. I always try to do that. That will help you get on the right track for this year without it being high maintenance or without it being so so idealistic or nebulous that you really don't even follow it after the first 4 weeks. So clarity. Clarity is getting clear. Just an everyday, easier word. I want to get clear about where I'm headed. If I don't know where I'm headed, then I won't get there. I won't have a course to pursue. I'll just be willy-nilly. And so once you get clarity, and I'm going to tell you how to do that, then you need determination in order to reach your destination. But you can't be determined if you don't really have clarity. You're not clear about what it is you're determined about. You're not clear about what it is you want or how you're going to get there. So let's go back and just deal with clarity. In order to secure clarity, you must work on knowing thyself. That's chapter 1 in my book. In order for you to do anything of any grand success, the foundation has to be that you know who you are, that you accept who you are, and that you go one level higher. You honor who you are. If any one of those are awry, you're going to end up denying yourself, doubting yourself, questioning yourself. And if any of that happens, you can't have clarity. Now, purpose is wrapped up in clarity. So knowing what it is you're after and why and how who you are participates in that is really critical. I have a statement that I made tonight that I like. When you're trying to figure out who you are, you want to get not the sociably acceptable you, or the approved you, or the pretend you, but you want the whole you. Who you are is so valuable. Who you are matters at a core level. And what I mean by that, because we can say that all day long, but what I mean is there are things about you that you've probably pushed down for a long time. There are things about you that you've denied, that you're embarrassed about, or that maybe you're even awkward about. There are things about you that other people have laughed at, made fun of, and yet it was a tender, authentic you. So you pushed it down. You disregarded it. You said it doesn't matter. You said, oh, the fact that I even thought I could do that or that I wanted to do that was silly. You dismissed it, and now it's buried. It's buried under doubt and unbelief and discouragement and disenchantment and hopelessness. It's down there to the point where you've almost forgotten that it is you. In order for you to get clarity, the very first work is know thyself. Then the next step is visioning. There's 2 verses of scripture that I want to give you, 2 principles that I live by and that I've learned and that prove to be true no matter what walk of life you're in. Write the vision and make it plain. You've got to, in order to write it down, you got to get clear, right? You got to figure it out. And then there's another scripture that says, where there is no vision, the people perish. We need vision. No matter who we are and where we're headed, we got to have a vision for what it is. You think about it. If you decided to take piano lessons, you had a vision for why you wanted to learn music. If you decided to learn how to sing, you had a vision for what you were going to do with your voice. If you decided to go to college, to community college, to play football, you had a vision for what propelled you to be interested in that. If you decided you were going to major in something in college, you had a vision for what that professional outcome would look like. So in any endeavor in our lives, we've got to know what the vision is. And sometimes that's really hard, especially when, I think about Kansas City, where I'm from, and how in the fall it's so beautiful, all the different colors of leaves, how they fall to the ground, and they get high and fluffy to the point where children love to go out there and play in the leaves, get up under them, throw them up, whatever. They're beautiful. Okay, well, in a negative sense, when we've been rejected, made fun of, ridiculed, downplayed, we can get to a point where we start thinking that what we want to do is really not valid for whatever reason. And then we push it down, we ignore it, and we go the standard route. And the standard route is such a waste of time. I like to tell the story of my sister. When she was in high school, we came from a college prep family. Both of our parents were college educated, and they had jobs that reflected that, and they expected their children to do the same. And basically, for the most part, we all did. But my sister had a vision. She had a vision for going into song, going into the music field. We had been in the arts all of our lives, and she wanted to pursue that and see where it could go. So she went to her parents and she said, Mom and Dad, she said, I know that you expect me to go to college, but could you give me 1 year? I want to see what I can do with my music career. I want to go out there and sing. If I don't make it, I promise you I'll go back and go to school. But she didn't have to, because she pursued the vision she had for her life. And a vision is initially, it could be far-reaching and almost ridiculous, or it could be very small. But you start with that vision, and then you write it down so that you can have it there. There's a lady that talks about visioning a lot, and I'll put her name and her information in the comments below, but she teaches so well on vision, and she talks about how so many of the things that she accomplished in her life came because she had a vision and she wrote it down. She was very disciplined. She wasn't always that way, but she learned to be that way because it became a problem because she wasn't. And one of the things that she does now is she'll go into her office and she'll sit there and visualize. And maybe she's adding on daily to whatever she came up with. Maybe she starts free form, I don't know. But I know that there's plenty of people out there teaching on it. But no matter what area of your life you're in, whatever your belief systems are, vision is necessary. So vision is critical. Now, imagine, even if you have to stop it, do it, and then come back. Imagine that you figured it out. You've got this vision. I want to at least frame it properly and tell you that you're never going to figure it out exactly. Life is full of surprises. And there are things that you just don't have access to, that you're not going to know. But the purpose of visioning is to at least get clarity enough to shoot for it, to go for it, and to really pursue it and go in that direction. Now, once you go in that direction, there's all kinds of things you're going to run into that may catapult your goals, that may cause you to do it a little differently, or maybe even stop you. But the things that you're encountering in your life will continue to add to that very vision that you're ultimately trying to get to. I went to school, got my master's degree in organization development from Pepperdine University. it was quite an experience. It was phenomenal. Shortly after I got out of school, I went and worked for the aerospace company. Now, I had a vision for being an entrepreneur, for being a businesswoman. But I got that degree and I got a job and I worked the job and then I got laid off. And what happened? I ended up in business. I really didn't intend to go at that point. I wanted to have a lot more experience and be able to do it. But someone approached me and said, our team needs you and I believe you have the skill set to help us. We've had much success already, but we're getting a new contract and we want to make sure that we do even better for this contract. And I think you're the woman for the job. I reluctantly took it because it was a friend and I didn't want to let them down, but they insisted, so I went for it. They got what they needed. They did well. They were pleased and excited. And from there, I hung up my shingles and I went for it. I went for it for a while and then life kicked in. My husband got sick. He got Alzheimer's. I became a caregiver and I wasn't able to do it at the intensity that I thought I would or at the rate, like, oh, it's going to be done. I'm going to do it for this many years and then I'm going to be able to retire early and blah, 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 all that. But God had something else in mind for me. I was going to have to stop for a while and take care of my family and make that first things first. But along the way, I did other things. I learned how to do this YouTube channel. I wrote a book that I'm still working on. I taught young people in college for probably 10, 12 years, sprinkled throughout my career as an OD practitioner. I did a lot of different things. And now as I do these talks, I wonder sometimes how I know this stuff. But life taught me because I went through all these different things and they all are coming back together to take me down the same road that I always wanted to go. But if I didn't have a vision, didn't write it down, didn't make it plain, and didn't have the determination to get there, which came from the drive of seeing the end of the destiny, what I wanted to see manifest down the road, that I wouldn't have worked so hard. But no matter what happened along the way, I never gave up. Well, that's not true. There were times where I felt like, just give it up. You're just a wannabe. There were times where I said, oh, you're fooling yourself. There were times when the enemy came along and told me, you can't do this. You fooled yourself. This is not you. You're trying to be something you're not. But full circle, because my vision was still always there. It just had to get awakened at times. There had to be other people that came along my path. And as a result, today I'm pursuing the OD field that I always wanted. I'm getting back. I'm going to do it. I'm going to go for it. I'm writing the book. I'm doing the YouTube channel. I'm still influencing young people. So first, though, you have to get clarity. And once you get that clarity by learning who you are, what your passions are, and working hard on that vision, and giving yourself credit for being okay with who you are, then the determination is set before you. And you will be so committed to doing whatever it takes to get to that destination because you've already seen the end. You've seen the end before you started. You know what's possible. And you determined to not give in. Okay, so that's what I wanted to give you for this year. I hope that you will work on, if you haven't already, getting clear, getting that clarity. And that clarity will be your fuel you need to be determined to do whatever it takes. Thanks so much for checking in. Give me that thumbs up, subscribe. And I just wanted to say this because I've been getting it from my viewers. You may subscribe, but if you don't tap that bell, what will happen is I'll upload like I do every week, but you won't get a notification. And if you're not thinking about it, if you're not looking for it, if I don't send you something, then you won't know that, oh, she uploaded, reminder, yeah, check that out this week. So make sure you tap the bell. And for those who've already subscribed, go back to my channel, P2P Relates, and look and see if your bell has been tapped. It'll let you know. And that way you'll get notification every week. I will talk to you next week, as I always do. Take care. Bye.